Hey guys, Corey Dum Dum here.
I'm glad you said it. It didn't make me say it.
So part of our process here at the podcast is making sure we have duplicates of things.
Of course.
And it's a very important process, but from time to time, we don't do the first part of the duplicate process, and we're stuck with the backup. Mm-hmm. So if this episode of the podcast sounds a little bit shaky on the audio quality, it's because I made a mistake. I made a boo-boo and didn't hit the record button like I should have. And we're going off of the audio that was captured and sent to Rob's computer. So if there's a little bit of clipping or maxing out or stuff like that,
yes.
Apologies, but it's a really good show. Try and listen to it.
We wouldn't go that far. But it's a show. We did a show this week, so we hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope that the audio is not too bad. Let us know, 443-219-7595, 443-219-7595. Let us know what you think, if the audio quality is really bad or not. Just give us a heads up.
And for every text or call we get, Rob will flog me 10 times.
I think you'll just enjoy that too much.
Anyway, this week's show.
It was a monster match. It was a graveyard smash. It was the O The Anthem podcast is the story.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Welcome to episode 238 of the O The Anthem podcast.
You wanted to laugh. You wanted a breakthrough.
It's 8:05 p.m. Pacific. That makes it 11:05 p.m. Eastern. And O The Anthem is live from coast to coast, broadcasting from the hashtag OTA LA studios, high above the 110 freeway in beautiful downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on Facebook Live. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for downloading on Spotify. You decide to do that.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And, of course, you can find more O The Anthem at O The Anthem on Twitter and Instagram. You should be watching right now at facebook.com/O The Anthem, where you can join us. Leave a message right here. We'll talk about it live during the show. Or, of course, if you listen to this show anytime, you can let us know via the listener line, 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
That's 443-219-7595. And I forgot for a second how to do the cadence of the phone number. Do you ever deal with those people who don't know how to give you a phone number? Like, my number is 217-95735. 213. Like, what? How many? Is that enough numbers? I don't.
I don't remember a comedian originally did that. Way to steal it as your own.
Yeah, just call me Dane Cook. All right. We talked about Dane Cook earlier this week at work, and I'm sporting my Fat Tuesday mug for my water this week. Fat Tuesday. When you hate yourself.
When you're just like, my alcohol doesn't seem to be nearly enough of a problem yet.
Well, I guess with my drinking and my health does not seem to be enough of a problem yet. So, anyway, lot to get to this week. Let's go ahead and do you want to start at the beginning?
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Start with the good times.
Well, I don't know about good times. For those in LA, not so good times.
Yeah, I mean, we made it to the World Series.
Made it to the World Series. And Manny Machado made it to the World Series. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Then Dave Roberts decided to ruin it all.
Then the Dodgers decided they don't know how to play baseball after 2 outs are scored, or 2 outs are recorded.
Yeah.
And just give up on innings. And the Red Sox don't have that problem. Right. I think a majority of their runs were scored with 2 outs, which was the difference in the series, I think. So
that's basically what happened with. Oh my God, it's going all the way back.
Oh, Rachel! Oh, Rachel! Okay, so we are watching Monday Night Football right now, and Rachel just came with the come from behind win in the Fantasy Football League this week, thanks to a pick 6 by the New England.
I'm gonna have to confirm this. Because we were talking about.
I mean, she was down by 5, right?
How could this happen?
Yeah, that's 6.
She's up by 5 now.
Yes! Congratulations. The calls available now. My team, looking down from our perch at 8-0, salute you.
We welcome you to winning.
Welcome you to the winning side. I have not known the other side. I hear it's not well. Not well at all.
Especially when you're someone like me who has to just like randomly pick up any running back who's available and just hope he scores points. By the way, only 1.8. Because I figured any points were better than 0, but maybe I should have taken the Melvin Gordon approach and just started somebody on bye and just been like, I'm not cutting that.
If I lose, I'm going to blame it on this, not on my lack of trying.
I'll take my 0 points. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'll see you.
And with that touchdown, it looks like the Patriots are going to go running away with it as they tend to do.
All my concerns about the people who bet on the Patriots is unfounded.
Yep, there you go. Although there's
reminds me of the day when we were in Vegas for Dirty 30.
Yes.
And I bet on the Patriots in the playoffs. And they had like some obscene spread. It was like 10.5 points. I'm like, oh, they'll cover that. And then you're like, are you sure about that?
It seems like a lot.
And then like late in the game, they're up by 4. And I'm just like, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't know if this is going to happen. And then, what was his name? Running back like breaks out this huge run. I'm just like, run, you bastard, run!
Now wait, we are sitting at a blackjack table in Old Vegas and playing blackjack, and there is a very
cards, and I stand up screaming.
There is a very sweet but very small Asian woman dealing us cards, and as she's going around the table to a friend of the show, Zach and Corey and myself, and just dealing the cards, Corey stands up out of nowhere because there's a TV behind her and just screams, and I thought she was going to shit right there because I thought I was going to shit right there. Because I was paying attention to the game, but not that close. Yeah. And apparently it was just like a routine running play.
You didn't put $100 in.
No. It was a routine running play that he broke out, and Corey decided that he wanted to scream at our blackjack dealer.
It wasn't at her. It was through her.
Through her at the television.
Behind her.
Yes. Anyway, so Patriots are going to win, and who's surprised by that? And guess who else won? The call's available now. One in the Posse League. Yes.
Somehow managed to squeak one out against an 0-8 team.
Okay, first of all, they're now 0-8. Don't make it sound worse than it is. They were 0-7. And the top 2 teams of the league almost fell to the 0-7 teams this week.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Would not have been funny.
Would have been hilarious.
Not good at all.
Yeah.
By the way, I should have done this. Should have missed back. Oh, the video's not loading. Oh well.
This is the Vegas one?
Yeah, the Vegas video didn't load. Anyway.
Oh, you're talking about yelling at blackjack
dealers?
Yeah,
yelling at the blackjack dealers. Nonetheless, so Patriots are gonna win. I win. How did your fantasy football team do this week?
Good. We won.
Won.
Much needed win.
Squeaker.
Yeah. It wasn't like it turned out I won by enough points that it wasn't like uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
But all this week I was like, I need to win, and then I had nobody who could play running back.
Yeah.
Because I had Melvin Gordon on by 5 people that I can't cut who are injured.
Yes.
It's just like,
no, and
what do I do?
I was playing against a team in my other league who had that same problem. Melvin Gordon on bye, and Jay Ajayi on the in the IR, and a couple of running backs who were out this week. And you pointed out that Jay Ajayi is done for the year.
Well, I mean, effectively, he could come back like week 14 or something. But I mean, like, I've done this in baseball before, where it's just like you get a player who's hurt, like an oblique injury with like a 4 to 6 week turnaround.
Yeah.
And there's like 8 weeks left in the season, and then you say to yourself, like, how much value can this guy give me in 2 weeks that would be more valuable than the roster spot?
Right.
So I don't know. I don't pursue. As somebody like I have Dalvin Cook, who's just injured always. Like,
yes.
Never not hurt. And they're saying that he's not going to play until his bye week, which is week. So after week 10, he's supposed to come back and he's supposed to be healthy.
Yeah.
Hypothetically. And I'm just basically waiting for him because there's been a 2nd round pick on him.
Yeah.
And I just hope that I can get to the playoffs, and then I'll have Dalvin Cook and Melvin Gordon.
I have absolutely no room to talk because I have Le'Veon Bell sitting on my bench, although reports are again that he's supposed to practice this week.
Or be traded this week.
Or be traded. Because tomorrow's the trade deadline, right? So
it was so funny if he was traded and then immediately, like on Tuesday, he like signs the franchise tag and then is immediately traded to the Browns or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, the best revenge would be sending him to the... Although honestly, it might not be bad revenge because the Browns will literally just give him the ball every single time.
Well, that's what the Steelers played on.
I mean, that's true. that is
that's
true.
Why he didn't show up.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see how all of that shakes out. I played a team who had Melvin Gordon on the bench as well. They went with the I'm gonna win or lose with a
with one less player.
with one less player. I'm gonna keep
It's like
Melvin
that-
Gordon in and
It's
just
like
win or
that
lose.
classic episode of The League where Ruxton has like all these amazing players and he can't cut any of them.
Yeah.
He's just like, do I play shorthanded?
Yes, that's exactly what the situation was. So anyway, but I won in both leagues. So that's a lesson to you. Don't play somebody on
You
mine.
know who else won? The Red Sox for the
Oh,
fourth time this century.
they did indeed. And the 9th time overall because they won
5?
yes.
Yes.
And that
And 4 plus
And four-
5 equals 9.
It equals
not
9.
11, contrary to popular belief.
we got into an argument in the pre-show meeting about how many times the Red Sox were world champions.
First of all, I fucked up on the math. For
Yes.
whatever reason,
Like, no,
new
it's 11. And I said,
new numbers started like coming in my head.
Corey insisted it was 11. And I said, wait. So it was 5 in the 20th century,
I picked
4 in the 21st century. And he was like, yeah, 11. And I was like, were there some in the 1800s I wasn't aware? Are we counting any of that?
It's
What's going on?
It was like The Hangover where all the numbers are flying by, and I just started picking out random ones to make it 11.
It's 11. It's 11. So it's 9.
Yeah,
For the 9th
9.
time, they are world champions.
But I would like to say this. One of my favorite idioms
Mhm.
is those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it.
Yes.
And I would like to say that I congratulate the Red Sox fans on their wonderful victory. And I'm happy for my friends and family who live in Boston.
Sure.
Really no hard feelings with this World Series. I mean, like, generally speaking, it's like that thing like where of the 10 Red Sox fans you know, one of them is like a really good friend and you like are happy for them.
Yeah.
And the other 9 are like people who like pee in people's gas cans and like light shit on fire and like
Well, because they're from Boston.
yeah, exactly.
They're trash people.
But you're like, I'm really happy for 10% of these people. I'm really disgusted with the other 90%.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I would have felt the same way though if LA had won.
really?
Yeah, it's like I know some really diehard Dodger
fans who,
fans?
like, deserve it.
yeah, and then I know some like people who just jumped on the bandwagon.
See, but I think the bandwagon just happens regardless. Like the Orioles would have a huge bandwagon too. If
They did, in fact. Do you remember when ticket prices skyrocketed the year after we
when opening
paid
day
some rent?
tickets were like $200 or something like
I
that.
hate all of you. Thank you for that. And where are you now? When we're 47 and 115, where are you?
When there's 2,000 people in the stands, where are you there?
I did like that tweet.
Not buying your Cedric Mullins jerseys, that's for sure.
I did like the tweet from Fenton this week who was like, oh, really feel bad for the fans of that 47 and 115. Oh, the poor fans of that team. Yeah, that's horrible. Who would want to be a fan of them? But yeah, we had I think there were 10 Orioles in the league championship series or beyond.
That's the other thing. Who I'm really excited for is Steve Pearce.
Yeah. Oh,
Because goes from like just being a journeyman outfielder,
Yeah.
who is scrappy and does whatever it takes to like get in the lineup as often as possible, to World Series MVP.
Yeah.
Which is something that'll just carry with him forever. Like, and
we should carry the guilt that we could have had him. We did have him several times.
We could have had him like 3 different times this season if we wanted to.
Oh, and the pitcher, right? You were saying that earlier too.
Well, no. So if you remember correctly, so this is what really chaps me now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect. We could have traded Manny Machado for Javi Baez. That was a reported trade that was out there. So we could have had Javi Baez, who is one of the most exciting young players in baseball for several years, locked down, for Manny Machado if we traded him to the Cubs. Instead, we traded him to the Dodgers for a bunch of prospects and, most importantly, international signing.
Right.
And rather than sign any of the most valuable international prospects, we decided not to do anything with that money, which is essentially like getting a gift card, letting it expire, and then just being like, oh, man, I had this $100 gift card I never used. Like,
yeah.
the part of the trade was getting that $100 gift card, and then you sit on it for 7 years.
And what was because those dollars don't go year to year, right? You have to use them.
have to spend them in that particular offseason.
So I don't know.
Victor Mesa and Victor Mesa were both signed by the Marlins, and the other guy, I can't remember his name, the pitcher that out of Cuba that everyone was talking about.
And weren't both of those guys signed for less than money than we had in
I don't think the Orioles
signing
made
money?
an offer. They don't have a GM. They don't have anybody right.
That's true.
It's just Peter Angelo sitting in the warehouse going like, it's awfully quiet these days. Don't Don't
You
worry.
think he realizes there's no GM? He's just like,
Walks into his son's office, just goes into John's office, being like, "Don't more people work here."
not currently dead.
I feel like I don't see a lot of people with a water cooler anymore. It's just like, you fired like half the people who work here. He's just like, oh, that's right. It's like, should we do that? Should we work on that? I mean, like, it seems like we could be signing baseball players right now. It's like,
We really should be doing some kind of work. I don't know.
I gotta do an asbestos-related mail merge and get some more clients first.
Oh, and apparently that is what he's doing because we're getting mail here for his mesothelioma lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Red Sox won the World Series. Not bitter about it. Didn't really have a dog in the fight.
I do like. There was a Red Sox. I was on set in Big Bear this weekend, so I missed the epic 18-inning game.
Yes,
I would have been. If I had started watching it, I would not have been able to stop watching it. That's part of the problem.
I went to a movie in the middle of it. I left in the 11th, and I got back in the 17th. That's how long that game went on. I went on and saw an entire movie and got back and still saw the end of the game. And I missed each team scoring one run in like the 15th. Fantastic.
By the way, you're a real bad tacticianer and really bad at your job when Trump is calling you out on Twitter.
Who's he calling out?
Oh, you didn't see that one?
No.
Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, God.
Talk for a second while I...
Yeah, so longest game in World Series history, so that's exciting. They have that record. I would say the one thing I want Corey to answer is whether or not he thinks that this World Series was more disheartening than last year. So, for those of you who don't remember, last year the Dodgers were also in the World Series, also lost. Lost in 7. It took 7 whole games. And I remember, if I'm correct, that the 7 was a squeaker, too. That they won like 5-4.
The 7th wasn't a squeaker, per se. It was... the Houston took the lead early. I think it was like a 5-1 game or something like that, much like Game 4.
Oh, well. So there you go. Oh, I had it on the one shot. So all you guys got to see me stare at nothing.
Oh, my God. He tweets so goddamn much.
Yeah. The President of the United States. Luckily, though, it's on his secure White House phone.
We'll get to that in a little bit. When we get to the depressing news of the week.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. How much time do you have to tweet?
Way too much. Well, one of the other things that happened is that we talked a few weeks ago about the sports equinox, that all 4 major sports were playing at one time. Well, LA had the super sports equinox on Sunday, where all 5 major sports were playing in the city on the same day.
There were 2 people who went to all 5 games.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
I saw a story about it. I was actually like, it was too late by the time I thought about it. I was out on the balcony, but I was thinking it would make it would be a really interesting story for like a more like a BuzzFeed than like a Sports Illustrated type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I went to 5 sporting events in one day. How did it turn out? And then
I'm exhausted.
Somebody like BuzzFeed to pay for me to go to 5 different events.
Yes. But yeah, so Sports Equinox, we had the World Series game, obviously. The Kings and the Lakers both played.
Kings and the Clippers.
But one thing that is miraculous, and I think Corey showed me a video of it a couple years ago, was that the Staples Center can go from ice to court in like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that's what happened. It was like a 1 o'clock Kings game followed by like an 8 o'clock Clippers game.
Crazy. Yeah. So there's plus the World Series game, that's 3, and then Rams were playing.
Yeah.
As well at 1 o'clock local, which was 4 o'clock game for you guys on the East Coast, and then LAFC played a game at the Galaxy.
It was the Galaxy.
The Galaxy, okay. Yeah. And where did they play?
In Carson.
At Staples Center, or not Staples Center, at the same place that the Chargers play.
Yeah. I mean, it's a soccer stadium originally. The
yes.
Chargers just don't have enough fans to fill a real stadium.
So they play in soccer.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so fucking...
Are you still scrolling? How about you give us the gist of it?
Well, basically, he was just like, what the hell is Dave Roberts doing pulling Rich Hill in the 6th? He's dealing or something like that. Uh-huh. And just like, everyone's just like, when Trump's calling you out on the obvious bullshit that you should know about. I don't know. That's a very weak paraphrase of what the tweet was, but Trump was throwing it out there.
All that build up, and that's what we got.
I was looking. It's tough because right now his Twitter feed is filled with like period at whoever's running against a Republican, going like, "Did you know this person has killed kittens before in the past? I know it because I read about it in non-fake news. Vote for Gianforte or something like that." It's like he's going like Congress race by Congress race and like making fun of the Democrat who's running.
That's got to be like some violation of law, right? Like that's his presidential account.
You think there would be a lot of violations of law?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that there are. So, question that I had before.
Yes.
Which is worse, losing in 7 to the Giants or losing in
Astros?
5? Or to the Astros.
Yeah.
Or losing in 5 to the Red Sox.
Well, I mean, I guess losing in 7 is better for you because you played more games and you could have hypothetically. I mean, like if they had won the Game 7, they would have won the World Series.
Yeah.
If they would have won Game 5, they would have just had the opportunity to try and win in 6 and 7.
But is it more heartbreaking to lose earlier or to make it till the end and then?
I mean, I think I don't imagine I would be heartbroken if I lost a World Series anyway. I think the only way I could possibly be heartbroken about it is if it was like against the Joe Carter walk-off home run Blue Jays, you know?
The back-to-back.
Like that one would have hurt. Like I would that one would have just stuck with you a little bit harder, you know? But
yeah.
Once you get to the World Series, you're one of the 2 teams that can say that you're there. So it's sort of hard to, you know, you want to win, obviously, but I don't know. It's hard to complain about that.
Yep, you're there.
Yeah.
You got a chance, so I mean, I guess that's it.
I mean, it'd be like if you didn't win the Powerball, but you won like the second place on the Powerball, and you're just like, oh god damn it, I only won $700 million instead of $1.2 billion. So it's like, well, you still won $700 million. So maybe shut the fuck up a little bit forever.
And speaking of teams that a lot of teams that didn't make are not going to make the playoffs, Ravens also played a game on Sunday.
I don't know if they won't make the playoffs. I just think that they need to.
When they play any team with any talent, they look horrible. The Panthers beat up on them.
I don't say the Panthers are without talent, but I will say this. I watched a bit of this game from a bar in Big Bear. By the way, super affordable to go watch the football game in Big Bear.
Yeah.
I got a sandwich for $10, like a huge platter sandwich.
Yeah.
And a Coke, and I was in and out the door for $14.
Okay.
So I was
but no alcohol.
No, but I mean, like I could have gotten some beers, but I had to drive back from Big Bear, so I wasn't trying to get loaded and then drive 2 hours back home.
By the way, I think Derek Anderson may have just suffered a career-ending injury on the field. He was not getting up.
Maybe we can get Nathan Peterman in there and throw a couple more interceptions and help Rachel's cause.
Anyway, so yes, but the Ravens. I didn't watch any of the game. I woke up.
Consider yourself lucky.
I woke up at 10:30 and I was like, "Oh, it's late. Let's get moving." And I checked the score. And I was like, "I'm just gonna go back to sleep. Doesn't seem like it's worth it."
It wasn't. I made the joke. It seemed like Harbaugh probably walked around the team hotel like early in the morning before the game started and was knocking on all the doors and being like, "Come on, guys, game day, let's do this." And then all the players like looked at each other like, "Wait, was the game today? I thought we were playing on Monday this week." I was wondering why we flew into Carolina a day early.
I guess we should go.
Maybe we should play football or.
I guess we could get this. It's fine. All right, let's go.
Trying to work your real yawn into a bit somehow.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing that's frustrating is, like, I sort of made this comparison about the Capitals before, but like the Ravens are kind of like an alcoholic friend. You can't trust them. You can't ever hope that they're going to turn out for you when you need them.
They're not.
Yeah. It's almost better if I just sit down and just be like, they're going to lose today. And then anytime they do something that's not losing, I'm just like, about to turn it around any second now. I think that it would be disheartening because I would never be able to feel joy with the Capitals, where like even though they were winning all the way through the Stanley Cup, I'm just like, any minute here they're going to give up 5 goals. I can see it coming. You never get ahead of yourself.
Well, so I guess we'll have to wait and see on fantasy football. We did the math. I can apparently clinch the playoffs
with a win next week.
Yeah. So fingers crossed for me, everybody out there. The Ravens will not be clinching, but
you know what? I just realized we started joking around and I forgot to get back to my idiom point.
Yes.
So let's close up sports ball with this. Those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it.
Yes.
The Red Sox in the 1900s there won World Series in 1903, 1908, 1912, 1915, 1918, and then didn't win one for 86 years.
Yeah.
And then the Red Sox of the 2000s won in 2003 or 2004, 2008, 2012, 2018. And I think that it's just ideal because it's 1918 and 2018 that the new 86-year losing streak for the Red Sox starts this offseason.
Yeah, sure.
And I think that nothing would. It would be nothing but joy to me if like all these Red Sox fans that I know who are like 30 years old now go the rest of their lives without a World Series. And they're like 70 and they're just like, I knew what it was like once when they won. And it's just like, tell me another story, Grandpa, of these great Red Sox teams because they've been so terrible for the last half century.
What would the curse be though?
Like what would curse them here?
Yes. Is the owner of the Red Sox a horrible racist?
No.
And does he hate?
Is he trying to fund a Broadway musical?
Yes.
No. And there's no like Babe Ruth on this team.
No, I was just thinking that like the transgender, they dropped the banner, transgender lives matter, and then somehow like that gives them a curse.
Curse of the transgenders. I don't know if that would
isolate that, please. And can we isolate that? So I can have that on a soundboard.
You're the one who brings up them dropping the flag. I don't know.
I'm just saying they dropped the banner, and then if like the coach came out and was like, yeah, well, you know, I mean, they have
Alex Cora said something really bad about transgenders, and then he's fired, and then the Red Sox never won a World Series for the next 86 years.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fine. Or until.
See, but here's the thing. Let's circle this into the next part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Alex Cora can say anything to get fired. Because he just won a World Series in his rookie year as a manager.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that, like, the most despicable thing he could possibly say, all the Red Sox fans are going to find some way to, like, oh, you don't understand. He was celebrating the World Series and still probably legally drunk. And we've all said things when we were drunk we don't approve of. And I'm sure he didn't mean it when he said that Caitlyn Jenner's disgusting and I had to run her over with my car.
I think what you're saying is that he has clout.
Yes, he has clout.
And an important thing when you say dumb shit, especially on TV, is to have clout.
Yes.
Now, if you left the network that, I don't know, say, protected you when you said stupid, racist, horrible things.
Because you had a huge ratings bump.
Yeah, whenever you said those things. And you go to, I don't know, a normal network.
Do a morning show.
To do a morning show. Maybe you shouldn't be doing the horrible racist shtick. And of course, nobody told Megyn Kelly this.
Yeah.
And I mean, here's the thing. The question is, do you think that she was genuinely thinking that what she was saying is okay?
Here's the thing. I think that she thought it was a reasonable point. And the reason why I think she thinks it's a reasonable point is she came back to it again.
Yeah.
She sort of dropped a blackface comment in the middle of like a scrum of people saying different things. And she was saying like, you know, like, well, I mean, it wasn't a big deal when we were all children and we could get blackface costumes. And everyone's just like, oh, let's just keep talking and hope that it never comes up again.
And then she waited for silence. It comes back.
Waited for silence. And she's just like, but seriously, isn't blackface not such a big deal? I'm just like, see, this is the type of thing that Megyn Kelly, when she has no ratings, is going to get fired for.
Yes.
But if Sean Hannity did it that night, like literally had like this first segment of the show just being like, blackface isn't as popular anymore. Why is it? Let's talk to Tucker Carlson about it. Like, he would be fine. He would just continue to be on Fox News. Nobody would think twice about it. Like, but it's just the type of shit you can't do on NBC morning television.
Does this help get Megyn Kelly her job back at Fox? Are they like, she's our kind of girl again? Hey, what's up?
I think Megyn Kelly, it would be probably in her best interest if she drags out her contract dispute with NBC for as long as possible.
Oh, I think she's out.
No.
As of today.
No.
I think she's out as of today.
If she's out as of today, then somebody paid her a substantial amount of money because she had like a 3-year, $70 million contract. So to fire her means paying her $70 million.
Yeah, I think they paid her $69 million to leave today.
They cut $1 million out of what she was owed just to let her go.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah. They're talking about
because NBC wants to get rid of her.
Money. Yeah.
And Megyn Kelly doesn't want to lose any of the money that's guaranteed to her, so they're going to negotiate an exit where she can leave right away and get a substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I think it would almost be worth it for her to continue on, like, just don't be on TV, collect checks, and wait for this to simmer down a little bit. It
See if
doesn't
you can
have to be
yourself
that long. Like,
Yeah.
6 months of just letting this shit die down. And in that time, you can make NBC more nervous that they keep paying you money and they haven't released you yet.
Yeah.
And you can get more of the money that's owed to you, and you get a chance to freshen up your brand. I mean, like, to me, it makes sense, but I mean, to her, I'm sure every week that she's not on television feels like a death to her. Like,
I can
might
imagine.
never
Right?
get on television again if I don't get back on in the next 3 weeks.
Well, that's
you
how
know?
it works, though, right?
Other people have gone and come back. Like, you know, there's people who have left jobs before and they find new jobs, you know?
I guess. Overall,
I mean,
though,
Stossel was on ABC forever, and then he left and went to Fox, and, you know, he's been fine. Geraldo
Rivera. Lou Dobbs, who was on CNN for a very long time and is now on Fox Business, and apparently, I don't know, likes racists now. So
Well,
that's the thing.
That's not a new thing. That's been that way. But
I bought his book like back in 2007. He was a centrist. I don't know what the hell happened to Lou Dobbs.
he got older.
And he's white, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
get older and white.
And you spend all your time in the Fox universe, and you probably get people feeding you things all the time, and you go, oh, that's ridiculous. It's just because if you spend all your time on one, like, if all you do is watch MSNBC, you're gonna just naturally have more of a democratic slant to things because you're gonna hear people say it in the way that you want to hear it.
Yes.
I mean, that's the purpose of MSNBC. So you're going to get more people saying things, and you're going to go, oh, that is right. Trump is completely out of line in this topic. And then if you go watch Fox News for a little bit, where they defend everything that Trump does, you're going to be like, well, I don't see what the big deal is. Trump, you know, the economy's never been better. Millionaires and billionaires are making more money than they ever have.
That's true. Yes, that is true.
I mean, like, you gotta spread it out. And the problem is that, you know, like, so often in news, you'll hear somebody say something, like slip something in that'll just hit the subconscious. Like if I said on this podcast, Martin O'Malley, noted horrible governor of Maryland, is in the news again for things that he said about Eric Holder. Like that little aside of like horrible governor of Maryland didn't need to be there. But I just said it, and now you're thinking about it. Now you're just like, now if somebody says Martin O'Malley to you, you go, oh, the horrible governor of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't change anything about how I reported the story, except that I threw in a little aside, and now you're in that mindset, you know?
Or how I joked about how Eric Garcetti was essentially Tommy Carcetti, and we immediately had a discussion about how he's basically becoming Martin O'Malley.
My mind literally blew at that moment. So it's like, holy shit, they're the same person.
Yep. Well, and by same person, you mean O'Malley, who Carcetti is based upon.
No, I'm saying O'Malley and Garcetti are pretty much the same person.
Yeah.
They just have different hands that they've been dealt.
Well, you know, yes.
I mean, like,
you're talking about O'Malley, the real people.
Our president get not even 1% of the vote. But I'm saying,
I mean, Garcetti might actually do better. He might take California. That is better than 1% of the votes.
Yeah, but I mean, like he's got to get to California first. I mean,
he might be the first president of the Republic of California.
God, I hope not. He probably won't. Southern California politicians don't do good in statewide races.
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
You want to know the last governor of California from the South?
Ronald Reagan.
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Movie stars.
Before that, it was Reagan. Before that, it was, I don't even fucking know. It was probably in the 30s.
Nixon.
Nixon was a governor, was he? He lost governor.
I thought he was governor.
No, he won. No. He went against Kennedy in the presidential race, and they came back to California to run for governor and lost. And they said Nixon is done because he lost the presidency and the
you're right.
Right after.
Lost to Pat Brown.
Boom!
What the heck? So he was never governor of California?
No. He was a congressman, senator, right?
And he picks Spiro Agnew as his running mate. So
yeah.
Horrible. God, yeah. How about that?
I think he was the last president who went like Congress, Senate, president. Isn't that true?
He was representative, senator, and then vice president,
and then president. So he had the holy.
Yeah, because he was vice president
quadrant
Eisenhower.
Yeah,
and then lost to Nixon. Pulled an Al Gore, but Didn't stay gone like Al Gore's stayed gone.
Didn't make a movie about climate change.
Nope, did not. Wouldn't really be his bag, I don't think. So, anyway, Halloween. So this weekend, you didn't really get to do anything Halloween related. I chose not to do things Halloween related. Really wanted to play some Red Dead Redemption 2, or as everyone's calling it, Horse Riding Simulator 2018. You don't really get into video games.
Yeah, I mean, here and there. Not recently have I been involved in like a big game.
Yeah. So apparently, until you unlock fast travel, which nobody I know has, you just ride the horse a lot. Like it's like a huge world, and the downfall. Oh, what was that game that you played?
Was it Zelda?
Zelda, yes.
The wind. So this is the most annoying thing.
That's right. I forgot about this.
I can't even remember.
The Wind Waker?
I think it was Wind Waker. I can't quite remember. But Nintendo kept like saying like the most expansive world in the history of Zelda.
It was.
And I'm just like, oh wow. And they were putting reports out there like if you wanted to sail from one end of the world to the other end of the world on the boat, it would take you 8 hours. And I'm just like, wow, that is a huge world. Yeah. And then I sat down like eagerly waiting to play the game, and I just realized that most of the time that I'm playing this game, I'm literally just sitting with the controller like pressed forward as the boat goes to the next island it needs to go to, and I spend like an hour just like staring at the screen as I'm like sailing along. It's like, this is not fun for me.
So Rockstar,
why am I not at the place I need to be?
Rockstar has fixed that because they have something called cinematic mode.
Yeah.
Where you can lock in a destination and then basically like follow a movie.
Watch it
instead of actually playing it, it goes and then you just follow along and you watch and you can interrupt. But the thing is, with cinematic mode, you can go like up high and you go around and you can see stuff. And unlike Wind Waker, where you're in water, things happen as you're crossing the west. Yeah. And you might hear like a damsel scream out, "Help!" And then you can stop. Okay. Yeah. But like if you're on the ocean, it's just like
there was
gotta get to that next time.
I was playing Wind Waker and I was like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I put the controller down on the table and I took a book and I shoved it to like hold the thing, and then I went to the bathroom. I came back, I still wasn't at the island I needed to be at. I went and I fixed myself a drink. I came back, I still wasn't there. I was just like, you know what, I could use some food too. Then I got
walked to the student center,
went and got some moon pies. Came back and it still wasn't at the goddamn island. It was like, this game fucking sucks.
Wait, at some point, the book slipped and you just started doing big circles.
Just circling around in the middle of
it. It all looks the same. All right. Anyway.
While you were faking it, you were eaten by a whale. I'm like, God damn it.
So
you should have been paying attention. Why weren't you watching the screen for every single minute of the 40 minutes and you were sailing to the next island?
There had to be other islands in between, though. Like, you can island hop. You were choosing to go directly there and missing the side adventure.
No, but it was saying, like, go to the fire island. And I'm like, okay, where is it? And I look at the map, and it's, like, all the way across the map. And I'm just like, God damn it, what are you do that to me?
And there was nothing, you couldn't have hopped around there and, like, gone on side adventures?
You can't fly over there or anything. You just gotta sit in your damn dragon boat and fly. Go for hours on end. Like, I love Zelda games, too, and that was the most disappointing, like, because, like, you sort of got that, too, with, like Ocarina of Time, too. Like,
didn't you have the whistle, though, that would let you travel places?
It was the Ocarina. I don't remember if it let you travel. At a certain point, there were shortcuts. Yes. And you could get the horse at some point. You could get a pony. But then the problem was that there was so much of the time spent where you're just, like, going across the Hyrule field. And you're just like, wow, this is such an expansive world. And the first time you do it, it's like, wow, this is really cool. It's so great how wide and open it is. And then eventually you're just like, why is it taking me so long to get to the Goron? I need to get to the Gorons. They need me.
I like realism, so I'm down with it.
Okay.
And like when somebody was explaining to me today, it's so realistic that you feel like I need to equip a bottle opener to open this bottle. Like, there are requirements that are ridiculous. Like, you can't have a gun until you have a holster.
That makes sense.
Which makes sense, but except for what game have you ever had where you have to buy the holster first to get the gun? And apparently there was somebody who was just like, I don't know if it was gun and holster, but like was going around for 2 hours trying to figure out like, what am I missing that I need to do this? but it's something logical that like in the real world you would need.
Yeah.
I can't pick up this. I can't carry this thing with me in my hand. I need to put it in my satchel. But guess what? You have to get a satchel first. You don't just have a satchel. So
Can I just staple it to my horse?
Like the gun thing. I'm like, I would naturally just tuck it into a waistband.
Yeah.
I don't need a holster. Put it in my waistband, Rockstar. Can I just tuck it in there?
I mean, I would probably do the same thing if you gave me a real gun, which is just walk around flailing it in the air.
Which is like Corey should never be allowed to hold a gun.
It's why I'm the only one who's constitutionally not allowed to have a gun. Because if you gave it to me, I would just be walking around downtown holding it going,
look at me!
Somebody tell me where the nearest subway is! I need a foot long!
And in downtown LA, it would literally be
on
behind
7th
you.
Street! Thank you very much!
Appreciate
You're so nice for telling me where it is.
Corey Salter, here's number 1. There's someone eventually is going to come back to this the day that you go crazy and start shooting up downtown LA. Like, he gave us warning signs. Give him some Subway. That's what he said he wanted. I know he's going crazy. He's shooting people in downtown. Give him Subway.
For whatever reason, when this happens, it's going to be like CNN. CNN's going to breaking news. It's going to be like, the Subway shooter. The guy, the fat kid who wanted Subway so bad he started shooting people.
By the way, this is the look that's going to be on CNN. Give him a nice reframe.
This was him moments before he went on his manifesto.
Anyway, so Halloween. Do you have anything planned? Halloween's coming up this weekend or this week. Obviously,
Yeah.
on Wednesday. Any big plans?
No, I don't have a costume either, so I don't know what I would do. But
Yeah.
Probably not. But
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
See, I always thought. I think I got the college mentality, which was, hey, if the Halloween falls on a Wednesday, then the celebration is both the weekend before and the weekend after. Right?
I think Wednesday is too, like, if it was like a Friday Halloween,
Yeah.
and like you wanted to do something Saturday, November 1st, it made sense.
Yeah.
But like when
The
it's
third's too
Wednesday,
far.
it's too many days past that it doesn't make as much sense.
See, like every.
But I mean, like, I
place-
feel like somebody could market that. They knew they were gonna have a slow Saturday after Halloween.
Yeah,
They
like
could just
second
throw a
Halloween.
Yeah, like
Use that costume one more time.
Yeah.
You paid $90 for that ridiculous
don't
piece of
throw
shit.
away yet. Come to our Halloween party the Saturday after Halloween.
Anyway, so I didn't really feel like going out last weekend. And I wanted to go out this weekend, but now apparently like Halloween's over. So, oh well.
Or Wednesday.
I mean, yeah, but
Somebody will be doing it.
I'm an adult. I have to get up in the morning on
Jab in the
Thursday.
morning.
Yeah. Anyway, so don't get old, people, because you get old and then you're like, hey, I love Halloween. Yeah,
By the way, just to make this thing full circle.
Yeah.
Did you see the thing I sent you on Facebook Messenger about the guy dressed as 11?
Yes. This is cosplay.
I think that for anybody out there who listened to Megyn Kelly and said, "Yeah, why is blackface such a big idea or such a bad idea?" I get your understand that. I was listening to Corolla too. He said he was Mr.
What?
T for Halloween once.
There's your first mistake.
Well, I'm saying he said he was Mr. T for Halloween once.
Yeah.
And he didn't do the blackface. He just dressed up like Mr. T. So he was like a white Mr. T.
Yeah.
And to me, that always made sense. Like, if you're dressing like Mr. T and you're not black, then you just be whoever you are,
Yeah.
dress like Mr. T.
I got the chains,
And
I got
then-
the vest, I got the
Yeah, and
mohawk.
if you tell somebody I'm Mr. T, they're not going to go like, why aren't you in blackface? Like, they'll just get it that.
Well, I mean, that depends where you are, because there was that dad in Ohio who dressed his son up as Hitler, and he went as SS officer. Did you not see that?
No.
Yeah.
I hope Child Protective Services saw that.
Yeah. And basically the joke of the day was when you're inside costumes, go outside. Anyway, so
Yeah, but and just like there was, I sent Rob a picture of a large black man dressed like 11 from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And he didn't try and do a white face or anything like that. It was almost funnier that he didn't. It was just like,
I want to be
it
11.
worked. Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. And he's like mean mugging the camera. Like,
Yeah.
I get this.
It was a joke. It was
Yes.
funny.
Yes.
Uh,
Blackface, not funny.
yeah, blackface is not funny.
Not
but
funny.
I'm saying, like, the way you get around this is you just dress like the character you want to, and then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna. What am I gonna do? And also another thing, because I saw this one too, in sort of like
Don't dress up like Hitler.
in a reverse version of this.
Yes.
I saw a white kid dressed like the Black Panther,
Okay.
and I saw people who were angry that he was dressed like Black Panther. And it's like that is not the costume for your child to wear, because that is a black only superhero. And blah 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 blah. And how dare you appropriate this from us? And blah 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 blah. I'm like, shut the fuck up! He's a kid.
Yeah.
He's like 8 years old. He's dressed like Black Panther. He obviously likes the movie, so he's already like he's at the point where his social blinders of black and white don't matter to him.
Yeah.
We're all people. We're all this together. He wants to dress like Black Panther. Shut the fuck up, everybody, please.
Let's not ruin this kid.
This is not the fight to be having right now. There are thousands of things more important than that. And we get through all the other problems, and we're in like a pretty much utopian society, and then we want to deal with the 8-year-old white kid dressed like Black Panther.
By the way,
then we can
no. Still not a problem. Still not a problem. He dressed up as a superhero that he likes. And I got so worked up, I just knocked the mic off.
Yeah, nobody would say the same thing about a black kid dressed like Captain America. Nobody would be like, why is he...
He should be Black Panther.
Captain America's always been white. He's never not going to be white. It's Captain America.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, Captain America today probably... If you could make a character that was Captain America, it'd be a guy who would not be okay with black kids dressing up as him. He'd be like, son... Why don't you take that
if I had to pick a Captain America today, it would be John Turturro.
Yeah. The Night Of is what I think of him from. But...
I was thinking about him from Big Lebowski. Just the Jesus is Captain America.
Oh.
Look at this Iron Man.
But that made me think of there's that
just licking the shield.
There was a story of the kid who got his hair like buzzed, and he said because he wanted to look like his best friend. And the next frame is him standing next to his best friend. It's a black kid.
Yeah.
It's like little white boy, little black boy, and they're like, now they're gonna go sit in each other's chairs, and they bet that the teacher won't matter. I'm like, why would you want to ruin this? That is what we should go for. Why would you want to ruin that kid? Let him be Black Panther.
I mean, like the problem is that like all these things are on a spectrum. So like, you know, like the kid who wants to get a haircut like his best friend who's black and thinks that the teacher won't notice, kind of thing, is in this place where he doesn't understand the spectrum.
Yeah.
So therefore he doesn't get it, and that's fine. It's kind of cute that the child is without this burden on him.
Yes.
But like, you know, in other. If he gets older, then that's a different story. But right now, just let him have that joy. Don't...
Oh, I mean, yeah. I know. If he's 19 years old and he's like, I don't know, I don't see color.
Yeah, because all the people who say like I don't see color are fucking just the worst people.
Yeah, I hate you.
Because they're just trying to make it seem like they're so high and mighty above us that they like, oh, I didn't even notice that Jamal was black. And it's just like, well, you obviously.
I mean, you saw him. Like, even if you're colorblind, I'm pretty sure you can tell the difference.
I mean, like, it's just like I didn't even notice that Robert was wearing a black shirt. Like, I don't see color, so I don't know.
I don't see any colors at all. I'm actually blind, legally blind. So,
I mean, if Stevie Wonder walks out of a room and he's like, "That guy's black," but it's all right. I get that. I understand where he's coming from with that.
All right, can we
My spidey sense is all off these days.
Can we move on to some very serious news?
Yeah, okay. I know. We're trying to have fun for as long as possible.
Yes. But
unfortunately, the world decided not to cooperate with us for the 70th consecutive week.
Yeah, and ironically, we talk about race because race was a big motivating factor in a bunch of stuff that happened this week. I don't want to say it's the most violent week in America, but it was maybe the most reportedly violent week in America.
I mean,
in the last few months. Or
violent in a very specific sense, though. I mean, like, I feel like more people have died in other weeks.
I mean, yeah.
But I mean, like, the fact that there were essentially terrorist acts perpetrated by people within this country is not something that happens on the regular.
So let's work backwards in time, shall we?
Sure.
So Saturday was the event in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Where a not confirmed white supremacist.
I don't know how you don't confirm. you heard about this website Gab or whatever? By the way,
I joined it just to see what was on there.
Yeah.
It is as bad as they said it was.
his Gab profile was disgusting.
Yes.
It was disgusting.
Have you been on there before, by the way?
No, I didn't. Even
The
know
whole website is that.
I don't even know what it was. I all of a sudden I saw people sharing screenshots of the social media, and I'm just like, this doesn't look like anything I'm on. And then it's just like, this is from his Gab profile. I'm like, what the fuck is Gab?
Yeah. So
By the way, if you let's say you started your own social network. Like,
I tried to start my own social
Well, I'm saying like you start your own social network, and then you find out that only white supremacists are joining it.
Yeah.
And doing all their white supremacist things on there.
Mm.
Do you like veer into it and just be like, well, I guess we're just
steering the skid.
I mean, like, I guess this is just where white supremacists go. So we can't ban everybody, or do you just like go like, nope, I'm gonna ban every single person, no matter how disgusting they are, and I'm just gonna have 0 users.
Am I me, or am I,
No, I guess give me a short version of vote.
The capitalist version of me says steering to the skid.
Yeah.
We want to make money. This is the point.
And then later we can be like Twitter and be like, we had no idea that.
No. I think that they are saying we are not white supremacists. Our whole principle is freedom of speech. Now we are either going to embrace freedom of speech or not.
Yeah.
Now that means that we attract some pretty dark stuff, and because we attract pretty dark stuff, you don't get a lot of the other. Because me, who doesn't want to see white supremacist nonsense, doesn't go on Gab. I mean, because there's a lot of white supremacist nonsense.
Isn't it basically like 4chan and Reddit had a racist baby?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
No, it's like no, it's as if they had a racist baby, and that racist baby had a child with another child with Facebook, because it's Facebook, but with the content of like a 4chan. So
yeah.
And then that child was raised in a closet and never got to see the outside.
And only watched Pepe things.
Yes, and only watched nonsense. But yeah, so I hadn't joined before. I did join apparently right on the last day of its existence, because it got booted from its hosting site. Yeah. But I was appalled at the stuff that was on there. Yeah. And so like the capitalist version of me says, you make your money. There is a market for a product, right? The invisible hand says, if there's a market, something will spring up to provide, and someone will be able to make money from it, and they'll try to charge too much, and eventually it won't get used, or a price will fix itself. The real version of me...
Or there will be a competitor who does it better.
Who does it better, yes. And I think that there are no competitors in this market because people have taste.
Until clanchat.com opens up next week.
Well, so no, here's the thing, though. They don't have clan chat. Gab was not white supremacist.
Yeah, it was just got
freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You could say whatever you wanted to say on there. You could be hateful towards people of other genders. You could be hateful towards people of color. You could be hateful towards anyone that you wanted. And I think that it was there was a fair mixing for, not what I saw. What I saw was basically all white supremacist stuff.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that at the beginning, there was a fair bit of anarchist stuff as well. So it's like, let's share recipes for explosives. We could do that on Gab, because Gab literally has no content limitations.
Right.
And I, as a user, can say, I don't want to see the N-word. I don't want to see other derogatory names for other people, and block those words. And then the post won't pop up for me.
And then it's like Google Plus where nobody's there.
But then it looks like nobody's on the website. So I can only look for anarchist things, and that maybe that worked at the beginning. But yeah, when I went on there on Saturday, it was fucking horrible. But again, so the capitalist version of me says, make your money.
Yeah.
There's a market, we're feeding the market. The real version of me, the version that sits here right now, says that no amount of money is worth that.
Is worth your soul.
Yes, that at some point you have to realize what you are doing. You're providing a safe space for people like this to have a discussion. Mm-hmm. Now, if you are saying, I'm going to create this thing, and then, I don't know, get everyone's name and address, and then give that to a elite leftist hit squad who's going to go murder all of these people, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
If it's part of a bigger scheme, and that was a really specific scheme, but yes, go on Gab and get people to start sharing their locations, and then start murdering some of these people, which is all that they deserve, frankly. Then yes, let's do that. But not just to make money. And otherwise you have to shut it down, because you have to know. Or you just black everybody. But then it turns into Google Plus, basically.
Yeah.
Although the other side of that equation is, if you cut out the hate, would people have found it as a place for real freedom of speech? Where like, listen, I can say unpopular things here so long as I don't say overtly racist things.
Yeah.
You don't say kill all the Jews, but you could say
kill the deserving Jews.
no, I mean that's probably a little bit much too. But you could say things like Zionists in Israel have concentration camps where they're murdering Palestinians. This is a true thing. It is an unpopular thing to say, but it is a true thing. By the way, there are concentration camps in Israel by the Zionists. That's true. But unpopular. So maybe Gav is a place for that. Now, is that racist? No. I mean, you might think it's racist. I don't know.
I don't know enough about it to really speak to it. So.
Okay. So anyway, Jenin, just look up Jenin. It's Jenin. It's a concentration camp where Israelis murdered a bunch of people. Anyway, not important. So if you clear out the hate, you could skew it towards real freedom of speech. But it seems like Gab steered into the skid and just said, well, we're just going to be the place for the exact same.
So here's my I think my overall problem. I acknowledge the need for freedom of speech, and I feel like that I don't want to limit what somebody should be able to say, even if it's heinous and disgusting.
By the way, let's clarify. Freedom of speech is only for the government.
Well,
your speech can be limited literally by anyone who is not the government.
Yeah.
Your employer, a website that you agree to use. There does not need to be freedom of speech unless the government steps in and limits what you're trying to say. Then it's a freedom of speech issue. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think that people just generally, if you start banning things, then it's just going to make people want to do it more. So that's my big problem. Like, if we start saying, like, all right, no white supremacist talk ever again, we're banning it.
Yeah.
In America, you can't say anything that is
like Germany,
like Nazis or anything like this. We're just not having it anymore. Then you're going to start getting a whole bunch of people who start tiptoeing on the line all the fucking time, just to see what they can get away with, and then keep pushing the line until eventually they can start doing all the same shit they used to be doing. And then you're going to get a lot of people who get, like, convicted, for lack of a better term, for saying something, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of people who say, like, well, I wasn't over the line, that was perfectly reasonable talk, and then just if you just leave it alone, in the sense that, like, we're not going to do something about this, then you get that. But what you want is the people who cross the line to feel shame, not to feel some sort of punishment. Because here's the real problem, and I feel like people aren't recognizing this part of it as much. The internet is relatively new in the history of the human experience.
Well, Al Gore invented it back in the 80s.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, say 40 years we've had the internet here, right? And productively, maybe 20?
Yeah.
Or
probably
15 or so?
Well, 98, AOL.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even then, it wasn't like...
I was on chat rooms in 1998.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it wasn't like you were able to, like, go to find... So think about it this way. If you're a white supremacist, right?
Yes.
And you really, you're Edward Norton from American History X or something like that. You have to... If you're trying to find other white supremacists, you gotta, like, float it out there a little bit. Like, every once in a while...
Oh, no. What? Before the internet,
Before the internet.
Before the internet, yes.
Before the internet. If you wanted to find out if somebody that was a white supremacist like you'd have to throw out, like, a little, like, test balloon and see what they said about it.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, I really hate that Louis Farrakhan guy. And then if the person you were talking to goes, yeah, he is a real piece of shit, then maybe you float it with a little bit more of a until eventually the two of you are just like, so we're going to the Klan meeting this week? And then eventually...
Or you both fall off your hoods. You're like, ah!
It took time. Much like if you were gay in, like, the 20s, for instance.
Yeah.
You couldn't just walk around just being like, who wants to have sex with me? You had to, like, sort of, like, wink at somebody from across the room.
I'd like to ISO that.
So somebody have sex with me? You would have to, like, exchange glances with the guy from across the room. Maybe give him a little light wink. And then if he says, like, what the fuck you do that for? You'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I had something in my eye. It's like, oh, it's okay, I get it. And
Had a little
it
bit
was
too much to
little bit
drink,
more-
soldier.
It was a little bit more precarious. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't know if somebody was there, or maybe you just do like the one little hand, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch." Oh, it's fine. You can touch me like that. It's like, oh,
Or you
well
go,
then.
or you go to a bathhouse or some other place where it's
But I mean,
like,
eventually, in the history of like gays in America or gays in the world, there were places where you could go where you would feel you could assimilate with people who were like you, and now you have Grindr. So I mean, if you were gay in the 1920s, it was very difficult for you to find somebody because there was no infrastructure for which you to do it.
Right.
But in 2020, you're going to have all the options in the world because you're going to be able to find them on your phone and just swipe through and just be like, I mean, it's just different. And people, people who grew up in the time where being gay was something that was deeply closeted and it was very difficult to do are still alive now in this new era of you can find it on everybody's phone if you wanted to.
There's definitely a white supremacist Tinder.
Oh,
right?
I'm sure.
Like, for sure.
I'm sure somewhere there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking about. Like, there is one for everything.
No,
there's got to be a white supremacist Tinder.
I mean, there's farmersonly.com.
That's not just for white supremacists. I mean, there's a lot of white supremacists on there.
Just mostly.
There's a lot of them, but it's not only for them.
There's some Trump dating app too. Like
yes,
TrumpSupporter.com or something like that.
God, how miserable are you? That's the kind of people you want to go for.
You want to make America great again too?
Anyway,
no, but I'm saying, like, this is. I think people are shocked by the negativity of white supremacists and the alt-right and Nazis and all this stuff that's happening today. But the problem is that we just have a place where the internet has now become so open that all these people who would have to wink nod at each other before can just find them openly.
Yep.
Like if I wanted to find 100 white supremacists, it would be easy in the internet age.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'd just go on a 4chan and just start writing down names of people who say the N-word, And
well, it's anonymous. 4chan's anonymous.
And that the Jews are responsible for everything and stuff like that. And just start making a list of names. But if you asked me to do it in the 1950s, it would be much harder task.
Yeah, you'd have to go to Congress and talk to all of the Republican senators.
I'd have to go find the nearest Klan rally.
You'd have to go to the library and look up who is the current GOP candidate in all the districts in the South.
Well, technically in the 50s, that would have been Democrats opposed to.
I guess you were right.
Yeah.
No,
the Dixiecrats.
Dixiecrats, yeah, because that was the 50s is right when the split happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose.
No, but I'm saying like part of the thing is that we haven't, as a society, come to terms with the fact that things are changing faster than our minds have been programmed to allow things to change.
Yeah.
Like, remember we had the discussion about nudity on Ocean City Boardwalk?
Yes.
It was a big argument between the two of us.
Yes.
And I said, this would be moving too fast for the people of Ocean City. And you said, get used to it. This is the future. We got to do it now.
Yeah. And
I said, there's got to be some like middle ground between our two opinions where we can find reasonable approaches to it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same. The rise of white supremacy on the internet is like tomorrow you're allowed to be topless in Ocean City. It's just too much for most people. You know? It's just like where did all these Nazis come from? It's like they've always been here. You just haven't noticed them because they haven't been on the internet in front of you.
But
they've been hiding away in the corners and the cracks.
Much like the topless issue, are you saying that we should take a more protracted route to solve the problem?
No, I think we should solve the problem as quickly and as efficiently as we can. But the thing is
punching Nazis in the face.
But the thing is, you have to realize that this problem is not going to go away right away because it's going to take a generation or so to change because these people are already.
I mean, I feel like if you kill them all and then they don't have kids, that pretty much solves the problem, right?
But they've already had kids.
Well, I mean, if their kids are racist, we kill the kids too. I mean, not while they're children, but like if they grow up and they show racist tendencies, well then off with their heads too.
I mean, think about like your mom at points in her life wouldn't have been allowed to have a credit card without your father.
Yes.
I mean, the girl who was the first one into integrated schools, Brown versus Board of Education, she's like 65 now, right?
Yeah.
Like this is not a long period. Like our fathers are old enough to remember
Segregation.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad went into a Greenville, North Carolina lunch counter
Yeah.
and didn't understand why all the Negroes were getting so upset. He was a little racist back then.
But I'm saying,
And
like,
still today.
but I'm saying, like, this is all within a generation that's still alive right now at this point.
Yes.
So, if you ask your dad about, like, like what his opinions on, LGBT and everything like that is, he's going to have a way different answer than you.
Yeah.
And you're going to be way more inclusive about it because you grew up with it. And when you were...
We didn't grow up with it. Are you insane? We didn't grow up with it.
We grew up...
We grew up knowing kids who were gay.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that anyone was really out. I mean, maybe they were where you were, but they weren't where I was.
I get you. And I'm saying that more of what I meant growing up with it was that in our...
It's changed while we have become adults.
As we've matured with this issue.
Yes.
So...
And I said when I was 15 years old, why is this an issue?
When you were like 15, you met your first gay person.
Yeah.
You were probably just like, oh, he just wants to be happy.
Yeah.
He just wants to find somebody just like I do. He just happens to want to find a man, and I want to find a woman. But
yeah, I met him at freshman orientation at Hofstra University.
We're not that different at the end of the day.
Yes.
We can all be happy. And the problem is that, like, your dad never had that experience.
That's not true.
And if he did meet, like one gay person at some point when
he met gay people in the 60s, which would have been in his late 20s.
But I mean, it's not the same as it's not the same thing. It was more accepted then than it was 30 years before that, but it wasn't the same as it is now. That's the...
but that is just...
So a 15-year-old today has a way different opinion on everything than your dad at 15.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's just how these things progress. It takes some time. And the people who are, like, you remember how, like, Strom Thurmond was in the fucking Senate forever being racist?
Yeah.
Like, it took a long time for us to get past that.
Or we just guillotine him and move on to the next guy. That's my point. Every problem that you're pointing out can be solved with guillotines.
Should we,
and a little bit of gumption.
Should we move on to the rest of the...
Yeah, so, I mean, we didn't really get into the shooting itself, but in Pittsburgh, a gentleman...
guy on Gab said, the Jews are out of control, I'm going to go handle this.
He said that this particular conservative Jewish synagogue supported migrants. And apparently they had posted something about all their work in the migrant community. Mm-hmm. And because Trump has riled up his conservative base about the migrant caravan that is working its way towards the United States, this guy felt that he was going to take it unto himself to go kill two birds with one stone. And those two birds were Jews, who he hated for being Jews. By the way, one of the victims survived the Holocaust.
Yeah.
But did not survive America in 2018. But kills some Jews and also kills people who were taking care of migrants. Two groups that he really hated. And when he walked into the building, he said, kill all the Jews. And he started shooting people. Two of the victims were developmentally disabled adults who served as greeters in the front. So I can only imagine that he literally just walked in and shot them.
Yeah. And also, other people who were injured in this thing were police. So it was really unusual when Trump was like, hey, you know what they need? More armed people at the synagogue. This problem wouldn't have happened if we gave one of the developmentally
disabled
guys a gun up in the front.
Because cops couldn't handle it. I mean, not saying anything. The cops probably couldn't handle anything. But that's beyond the point.
Yeah.
Earlier...
Who do you imagine is going to be taking care of this issue if the cops couldn't?
Yeah.
Do we need military hanging out in front of every synagogue just to make sure that people get through the checkpoint all right? I mean,
we got a lot of vets. We could probably set up some military checkpoints.
Yeah, but then you'd have to pay all these vets. Like, I don't...
I mean...
As far as the United States is concerned, you have them do their service, you thank them, and then you never think of it again.
Right. You just send them on home. Send them on home.
Like, wow, Corporal Smith, you did a wonderful job. Thank you for your service. Now go back to Iowa and never call us again.
Yes.
I have PTSD. Oh, wow, that sucks. All right, we'll see ya.
Have a good one.
Oh, you're living on the street now? Oh, that sucks. All right, well, it's been fun catching up.
But this follows another shooting that happened earlier in the week where another gentleman walked into a supermarket and shot one person inside the supermarket, fired off more rounds, but then left. And this may not seem so motivated by race, except for he met another armed person in the parking lot. A good guy with a gun who could have stopped this bad guy with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
But upon meeting that guy in the parking lot, they exchanged a few words. Do you remember what those words were?
No.
Okay. The words were, if you don't shoot me, I won't shoot you. Whites aren't supposed to kill whites. And the guy, fearing that he had a handgun and apparently the shooter in the store had a high-powered rifle, put down his handgun, assuming that the guy was going to kill him. And then the guy killed another person in the parking lot before being captured. But I would have thought, hey, this is just an incident of violence at a supermarket, except for he met a guy in the parking lot and he didn't shoot him, and he said whites don't kill whites, and then went on to shoot a second black person.
Yeah.
So come to find out, that gentleman tried to get access to a black church before he went to the supermarket.
Yeah.
But was denied entry. Wisely so. So 2 times in 1 week, a place of worship for people in the United States was attempted to or otherwise was targeted.
Yeah.
1 time successfully, 1 time not so. And the president said, you know what we need at this time? Prayer and our communities. Because he's tone deaf. Like Corey at karaoke.
Me?
Like Corey at karaoke. Just completely tone deaf.
Do you have comments there?
So I'm like looking through. I don't see. It looks like there were some comments that were made, but I'm not seeing them here. But I see. Oh, here we go. A friend of the show, Roberto. Why is this happening? Replying to. He's replying to his own comments. Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on with this comment thread. He said, "Rob," I'm drawing my attention, and then the laughing symbol. I think he doesn't realize that there's a little bit of a delay between the chat and what he's saying and what we're recording. Probably a good 30-second delay. So just keep us up to date, kiddos, on what it is you're commenting on. But if that wasn't enough, this week also, 11 pipe bombs.
Yeah.
Were sent.
That was the number.
Were sent to a group of people. I'm just going to name some names and tell me what these people have in common.
Okay.
George Soros was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The Clintons.
Mm-hmm.
The Obamas, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker.
Was Booker someone?
Yeah, that's when they found in Florida.
Oh, okay.
In the mailbox where he dropped it off.
CNN in New York and CNN in Atlanta.
Yes, CNN in Atlanta. God, there was 11 total. That's not nearly enough, but
Maxine Waters.
In
D.C. and in L.A.
Yes. Well, what do all those people have in common?
Well, they're all Democrats who've been very vocal about Trump.
Yes. So clearly, this is a false flag operation by Democrats to send themselves bombs because they're trying to change the narrative before the midterms.
Yeah, clearly. Clearly, Barack Obama got on a plane
with George Soros.
Yeah, and Hillary
paid
Clinton
for
and all the rest.
Yeah, no, apparently just paid for by Soros.
Yeah.
I don't think he's old.
Yeah, and they said, who's somebody we can frame easily? They found this guy who was living in his car filled with MAGA stickers. They said, ha-ha! And then they got his fingerprints and put them on the bombs.
Yep.
And then didn't touch anything themselves so that there wouldn't be any additional fingerprints.
Right.
And shoved them in envelopes with Debbie Wasserman Schultz as the return address name.
Yes.
And then put them in the mail and then went home and waited for the bombs to arrive at their own house.
Yes.
Listen, I was telling Rob outside, I enjoy a good conspiracy theory, especially if you can give me one that seems to have some manner of teeth to it. Like maybe perhaps I could believe this because some piece of evidence you gave me doesn't line up with the facts I've been told.
Yeah.
I get it. I like to get a little freaky like that from time to time too. But the problem is that when you start making conspiracy theories that involve like the former president going to Florida to mail himself a bomb, you lost me. I don't get the logic.
Well, it's bridge too far. Especially when
there's physical evidence that ties into the guy who did it.
And by the way, the guy who did it is driving around in a van with Democrats in sticker form with targets painted on them. Like,
Yeah.
what else do you need?
And at a
people?
Trump rally with a sign that says like CNN sucks and
Yes.
stuff like that. Like the one that I found interesting, I shared it, shared the tweet with you, and then you spread it all over your social medias about the girl who convinced her boyfriend to commit suicide.
Yes.
You remember that story? And
Yep.
how she was charged with murder and convicted of murder, right?
Convicted of manslaughter. It was
But
a
it's
lesser,
like second degree,
lesser charge. Yeah.
second degree manslaughter or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
Some
but
sort of
she still ended up being convicted of that.
Yes, she did.
And I think the logic was that she didn't have to actually pull the trigger because she convinced him to do it on his own.
Yes.
But he wouldn't have done it if she wasn't there telling him to do it.
Right.
So where's the line that we're drawing between a case like that and Trump continuously pushing violent narratives?
Because I think the devil's advocate, this would be much like Jodie Foster.
Oh, like when the guy tried to shoot Reagan to get the attention of Jodie Foster?
Well, because he thought that that's what Jodie wanted him to do.
Yeah.
So you can't hold Jodie Foster. There is a plausible deniability amongst the famous person who says, listen, I'm just out here talking.
Yeah.
And somebody's reading into this. Now, not so much with the president. It's pretty clear that the president is saying, hey, if you go and beat these people up, I will pay for your defense. Because he actually said that during the campaign. But
he also said that the Jews are upset with him because he doesn't need their money.
Yes. And he has popularized all sorts of right-wing conspiracies by supporting them in tweet form.
And any time he was just like, oh, the people in Charlottesville were fine people.
Yes.
And good
Nazis
people
are
on both sides.
Yes. Yeah.
All that sort of.
So I think he's gone a step further than that, but I think he still has plausible deniability to say, oh, listen, I had no idea that this particular guy in Florida was listening to me and that he would create bombs and mail them to people who I'd said were chastising me.
Question.
So
hypothetical.
Yes.
Could you bring it up in a civil suit?
I think you could.
I mean, if you were Maxine Waters, for instance, and you had a bomb sent to you, could you sue Trump in civil court saying that his actions made somebody do that? Essentially,
you would have to prove damages. That would not get past the initial request for dismissal phase because the judge would say, yes, a bomb was sent to you, but what impact did that have on you? What loss did you suffer because of that?
But
now,
you couldn't say emotional distress or anything like that in regards to that?
But you have to find a nexus. So, like, the fact she wasn't in either of the offices, she was never actually in danger, it would probably not survive a motion to dismiss. Because I saw a report that said 25% of 18 to 25-year-olds say that they have PTSD from the 2016 election. Listen, folks, first of all,
you don't know what PTSD is.
Yeah, you're embarrassing us. Stop it. Okay, just stop it. But there's no nexus between the election and...
Keep talking, I'm listening.
Okay. There's no nexus between the election... Oh, you're going to walk behind me here?
Yeah. I don't want the TV to burn in.
Okay.
Keep talking!
Yeah, so there's no nexus between the damages that actually... What the heck?
I was trying to avoid walking behind you because you were so upset that I did it the first time. By the way, look at my hair.
I know. You got a lot of hair. It's a lot. But yeah, the people who are saying they have PTSD from the 2016 election. There's no nexus between Trump's victory in 2016 and your emotional distress. Maxine Waters can say, oh, I don't feel safe in my office anymore. You're a sitting congressperson. Part of the job is being a public figure, and therefore you're putting yourself in danger. And you can't prove that Trump ordered this guy to do this thing. There's no nexus between the damages and anything else. Now, if one of them had gone off and blown up the office, then yes, you could. That person would have probably grounds to at least bring him up as a defendant in the civil suit to say, you keep telling people that I need to be taken care of. And then this guy sends a bomb to my office, which blows up and hurts people in my office. Well, there's a nexus between you saying anti-Maxine needs to be taken care of, this guy doing what you told him to do superficially, and people being hurt or damaged. So that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was worth a try. I wondered about that just aside from nothing.
Yeah.
I thought I would bring it up with a lawyer And seeing as that you at one point did some lawyering, I figured you might be the...
And of course, any legal advice you hear is not, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer.
Yeah, Maxine Waters. Don't listen to Rob when he doesn't file this.
You should seek your own legal advice, not listen to people on the internet, especially this person on the internet.
Yeah.
Especially this person who earlier this episode says guillotines can solve so many problems that we have. Yeah.
By the way, I got a text message today from somebody who's trying to get Brian Frosh elected.
Yeah.
And there was a part of me that wanted to go really hard left on her just to see how she would react to it, and she didn't take the bait. So
good for you.
I decided not to push my luck further.
I do think
get another list.
You're on all the lists already thanks to the podcast. I literally said guillotines will solve all of our problems earlier in this podcast. That went out on the internet. But I still think it's a bot. I still think it was a bot that if you went beyond the parameters of what it was prepared to answer, it gave you that kick out response. But like you said things like, oh, I'm just not interested in voting. And the response was like very structured to that. It was like a whole thing.
I did enjoy how I set it up though. And it's just like, no, I don't vote in Maryland anymore. And it's just like, well, share this with everyone you know who does it. I hope you vote in your new state and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, actually, I just don't. I live in Maryland, so I just don't vote there because I realize how stupid and pointless it is. Which is a
feeling.
Yeah, real feeling one could have.
Yeah.
I think next week we should have a little bit of a voter guide with the elections coming out on podcast day.
Yeah. Here's my recommendation. Here's my early hint to you, or spoiler, if you will. Don't vote. Stay home. All of you, just stay home. Voting doesn't matter.
And my thing is, please vote. Please don't listen to Rob. Just go out there and vote, and we'll see what happens.
If voting mattered, they wouldn't let you do it.
Oh, they're trying to not let you do it right now.
No, they're trying to again. I don't know how many times we get into this. They're trying to not let certain people vote because they're trying to create a us and a them. It has nothing to do with actual voting. If voting changed anything, no one would be able to vote. But instead, they said, okay, voting doesn't matter. But we can create an us and a them.
Machines that are changing people who are voting straight ticket Democrat to Ted Cruz votes, and then everything else remains the same.
That solution actually is so that ticket is the number one. That's the number one ticket on the card. So after your choice to pick straight ticket, the very next thing you would be able to vote for is Cruz or Beto. And the machine is laggy. They're old voting machines, and people are hitting the button and then hitting the same thing again. And if you do that, if you had let the screen load, the next thing that you would see is the Ted Cruz Beto. And so people are actually selecting Ted Cruz and then skipping to the end. So it's lagging the machine and then they're skipping. It's a whole thing. I saw there's a report from the Texas voter people, but it's not as sinister as it seems. It's just shitty old technology. And hey, let's stop using electronic voting machines, especially ones that don't have a physical record, because who the hell knows what the vote was?
Yeah. I think we should just go back to the ballots.
I think we should get rid of voting altogether. I've been saying it for a few years now, but
benevolent dictatorship.
Listen, just put me in place as a benevolent dictator. 18 years, one generation. We've been talking about how much can change in one generation, right? 18 years. Give me 18 years, one generation, maybe even 16. I've been throwing around this quadrennial situation. Started working on my manifesto. Not a good time. Going around the bend. But quadrennial. I'm working on this quadrennial thing. Give me 16 years. I guarantee I promise you, I will give that power peacefully. We'll have free and fair elections after the 16th year. But I need 16 years to get things going.
Just don't do it right away, because I need to have a kid and have him be at least 6, 7, 8 years old or so at the time when I become president.
Oh, no.
When I become benevolent dictator.
Yes.
So that by the time my 16-year term ends, I can just peacefully hand it off to
No. I'm not saying
my son who will continue my legacy on.
I'm not saying I won't run in 16 years. I'm saying no elections for 16 years. And then I'll
give
run
carte blanche for 16 years.
Yes.
And then we'll figure out where we stand.
I'll fix everything. And then you can decide whether or not you want to vote for me or for other person.
Yeah.
Do you want to vote for Papa Cheek, who has fixed everything in the country, the guy who you've seen up in that picture above your mantelpiece for the last 10 years? Or You can vote for this other guy.
The guy you've been calling dear leader all this time.
I mean, dear leader is so
And
formal.
then all the people, the 16 years when all the people start running and they mysteriously drop out or die of mysterious causes.
Listen, I said free. The election will be free and fair. I didn't say the campaign will be free and fair. All right, the election will be free and fair.
Be like Putin all over again.
Just saying, 16 years is all I need. I can fix everything, and at the end of it, you'll want me to stay on for life. There will be women just tearing out their eyes and crying in the street, and children reaching up to me, and men just volunteering for all of the civil service and everything. It'd be fantastic. It'd be a brand new day.
Yeah. My favorite part is going to be the day you take off, and it's just like, based off of everything that Robin said on his O The Anthem podcast, the stock market has dropped 25,000 points in one day.
Good. Screw them.
Everybody has bought out of the stock market.
Yeah, I would like to see them do like a
16 years later, we're bartering with clamshells and
listen. I'm going to stand out in front of.
discs.
I'm going to stand out in front of the Congress. And I'm going to say, you know what? I'm so happy that you guys have finally made the decision. You know, the American flags are waving.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to like do this like heel turn. Bam! The black flags come down to cover the American flags. Oh, now you're in for some benevolent dictating. Here we go.
You get flags that have like little anywhere where it's white, it's black now.
Yes.
It's like blackout flags.
Well, no, because that'd just basically be the Blue Lives Matter flag. Just black and white and blue.
Yeah.
No, I don't want any of that. That goes against what I stand for.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do we have anything else we need to say?
Nope, that was it. We're at 90 minutes already, so we should probably call it a day.
Well, speaking about calling it a day, you know where you can go to do that?
Where's that?
OTheAnthem.com. Corey at OTheAnthem.com. On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and listen line 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595. You can find more of me at my website, CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com, Facebook.com/Corey Baker Film, and at LegendCB5 on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the whole thing. I have not yet seen a movie for this week's review, but my plan is to go see one tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
To be determined what that will be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's playing at the moment, or of the things that I haven't seen yet.
Yes.
But I will be doing everything I can to have a new review out on Thursday, because that's my new day for reviews, and be very upset if I missed on the second week of doing it.
Sounds good. And of course, you can find more of me at Robert N. Cheek on all your social networks. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com, where you can find links to my political blog, the news website, and the books which are available on Amazon.
Well, I think we've done good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good.
Even say it with a straight face. Oh, I'm sorry. We have
No, these are just the old. This is the old comments.
Yeah.
Roberto is the only one talking in the chat room, and frankly, he doesn't matter. So, as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem Digital Network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody. That's it? Just a sigh?
What else am I supposed to say? Just be somebody who's shooting at synagogue, throwing out pipe bombs. I just don't know what to do.
Guillotines would solve all of this.